More. All right, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. First item on the agenda is to recognize the retirement of Ruth Lambruni, our Police Department Secretary. Bill?
Many of us know Ruth, and she has a nice crowd here for her this evening. But Ruth has been with us for 23 years, a very dedicated and committed and loyal employee of not only the police department, but Horsham Township, also a Horsham Township resident. I like to put that in all the time. But Ruth, you could always count on Ruth. I mean, she started with a dispatcher with us and then moved on to the secretary, administrative assistant of the chief, served three police chiefs. And as you know, we're just on our fifth police chief in the history of Horsham Township. Chief Vida is our fifth police chief, so Ruth served 3 out of the 5. But she's been an amazing employee, and we will certainly miss her. We wish her well, a happy, long, healthy retirement, and but we will miss her. You don't come across employees that work here 23 years and as loyal and as dedicated as Ruth is. Always asking, like, what can I do? How can I help? Even over in our building here, when she would, come into the administrative finance, what do you need help with? Air shows, whatever. If we need extra coverage for the desk, she was there. She always stepped up to the plate when the chiefs needed extra support and support staff in the department. So again, Ruth, congratulations. We wish you the best, and we'll miss you.
Good. Well, I can say this much, that every time we do this for retirement, it seems like the person retiring has been here like 20, 25, 30 years. And it just says something, I think, about the township and the staff that you have here, their commitment to work, and just to stay here this long. I think it's an amazing thing to do, and you don't see it too often. So congratulations. We do have a proclamation for you, and it reads as follows. It is with great pride that we recognize Ruth Lambruni, a dedicated employee and longtime resident of Horsham Township, for her 28 years of service with the Horsham Township Police Department. In August 1999, Ruth was hired as a dispatcher, working night shifts, weekends, and holidays, providing essential support to her platoon. Her skills and commitment to her work led to her appointment as Chief Ruxton's administrative assistant, where she continued to serve under the 2 subsequent chiefs, Chief Daly and Chief Ida. Ruth's remarkable service brings great credit not only to herself, but also to her beloved family, including her husband Archie, son Archie Jr., daughter Andrea, and 2 grandchildren, and the entire Horsham community. We wish to express our heartfelt gratitude to Ruth for her outstanding service, recognizing her unwavering dedication and invaluable contributions to the safety and well-being of our community. So on this occasion of her retirement, we extend to Ruth our warmest wishes for her happiness, fulfillment, and continued success in all her future endeavors. Again, congratulations. Now that I said my piece, Scott, would you like to say something?
Well, I don't know that there's much that you haven't already said, but I'll share this story. 22 plus years ago, I started my career here in the Horsham PD and was assigned to Ruth's platoon. She was our dispatcher. And one of her main jobs was keeping a young officer like me out of trouble, and she's been doing that for the last 22 years in some fashion. We already miss you. Your absence is already palpable. You talked about her work ethic. Ruth was our rock, as far as Mr. Walker said. You needed something. So while I'm sad for us, Ruthie, I'm very happy for you that at least from this aspect you'll get a little bit of a break. and we wish you the best in retirement. I pray, I hope that you come in and visit and keep us in line when you can. So thank you, Ruthie.
Very good. Ruth, come on up and say a few words.
Good evening. I just want to say that I have worked for the most wonderful people in the past 23 years that I can't say enough for how grateful I am for the time I had here, and it just made my life complete. I had moved here in '85, and we built a house on Herman Road, and we're still there. And I lost my job with AT&T because they closed the doors in Fort Washington. I thought it was the end of the world, and it really wasn't, because 2 years later, I just seen an ad in the paper that was never in the paper before, and I applied for the job, and somebody up there said, "Get it?" My husband said, "Don't." He said, "You just worked all your life, working holidays, evenings, night shift. Why do you want to do that again?" And I said, "I don't know. I just wanted this job really bad." And I got it. So I'm appreciative, and I love everybody. I'm going to miss them terrible. But everybody knows where I live. 3 miles away, so thank you so much.
And she has a pool.
All right, don't go anywhere, Ruth. We're going to do some pictures after we do the next item on the agenda, which is recognizing our departing public relations clerk, Mary Morass.
We all know Mary, and Mary started with us 4 years ago. But Mary made her impact here. We all know what she did. The newsletter, she revamped our newsletter that every community in the Commonwealth is jealous of. She did revamped our social media, revamped the website, worked with the Horsham Connected group. The list goes on. The list goes on. Assistance with Horsham Day, brochures in the lobby, decorating the lobby. The list goes on of what Mary accomplished here for us. And she really did take us and the public relations to a whole new level in Horsham. And we really appreciate that. We really enjoyed having Mary. But an opportunity and a new door has opened for Mary, and it's not here with us. So we can't try to keep her. And we don't want to hold anyone back. So she has a new opportunity that she's starting in her life now, which I think is a very good opportunity for her that we didn't have here for her. So we were glad that we had her for 4 years, and all that she taught us and showed us what we can be capable of in public relations. We wouldn't be there without her. So we wish her well in her new job and her new endeavors, but we will certainly miss her here at Horsham.
Good, Mary. You will be missed. You know, you did make a difference here. You did show us a lot that we were missing out on, and we did notice the change in a lot of things as we moved forward into more the outgoing things that we do, and whether it's a newsletter or ribbon cuttings, groundbreakings. Like, you're there for everything, mornings, evenings. I mean, you were always there. Personally, you never made me look better, so I appreciate that. We do have a proclamation for you as well. It reads as follows. We are here today to express our appreciation to Mary Morass and to honor her for her time with Horsham Township and her dedicated service to the residents of Horsham. Mary began her career with Horsham Township in 2019 as Public Relations Clerk and is credited with implementing our improved newsletter, showcasing Horsham Township's community-connected branding throughout our media networks and publications, assisting with advertising and promoting Township events, including the Horsham Connected website, and was behind the lens taking photos of Horsham, business events, and residents. On behalf of the entire Township of Horsham, we want to express our sincere appreciation to Mary for her dedication over the past 4 years, and I wish her much happiness as she begins this exciting new chapter in her life, and I know you will enjoy it. Good luck to you, and congratulations, and thank you so much. You'd like to say something? Now's your chance.
Thank you. So Bill knows I've been weeping, sobbing, crying at my desk. It's an exciting new opportunity, but this place is so deeply in me and in my heart, and I'm going to miss it terribly, but you can't get rid of me because I'm going to be at all the events. I'm going to be stalking you guys on social media, and it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor to work for all of you, with all of you, and with Bill. You are such a special person. You all know Bill's an amazing township manager, friend, person, and I just thank you so much, Bill and council, for this opportunity and for everything you've taught me and all the experiences and things that I've been through here. So thank you so much.
Very good. Okay, so we're just going to take a few minutes for some pictures. I guess, Ruth, you want to come up first?
I will, I intend to. Thank you.
This is for you.
Well, that's technology, not me.
All righty, here we go. Next is an opportunity or questions or comments from the public. Okay. Next, we have a presentation on the Horsham Miracle Field. Who's handling that one tonight?
So next we're going to have a little presentation. We have Bill Slaymaker and Nancy Kirby, the co-presidents of the Horsham Miracle Field. And then next then we have Hearth Builders, who has done an incredible job working with the board of the Miracle Field to give us the amazing presentation that you're about to see. Really grateful for the work that you all have done in this township and moving this thing along. So without further ado.
Somebody better step up.
So good evening. So I've checked in with you all periodically over the
Look
past
closer to the mic.
couple of years and given you updates along the way when there was something important to bring to your attention. So tonight we have been working over the past maybe 6 weeks or so with Hearth Builders, and they have helped us put together plans for the Miracle Field. I believe you are aware that we've raised about $1.8 million at this point. Hopefully this is only half of that, but probably not. So we'd like to show you our plans and invite you to ask questions. And do you guys want to come up and help out?
Make it easier by, if you want to sit at the table, those mics work too.
Okay.
Make it easier for everybody.
You just have to push the button in front of the green light that says push, and that'll activate the microphone.
All right, who wants to start?
Here?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Green.
So the township's granted us the land, and that was very early on. We know where we're building. And the site, I think everybody's aware of exactly where the site is. There's a cool sign there now, and that is, the rendering that you see here reflects the position that we agreed on about 2 years ago. Anything to add?
Sure. So I think most people here are familiar with this site. And Anna reminded me, this path is existing here
Correct.
and currently shown as not being touched here. So this is mostly open field here. And this is integrated with a plan we received from Gilmore and Associates showing an increase in extension of parking layout of the adjacent parking here. So most of this land is, again, currently open field here, with the Miracle Field, baseball field laid out here, and some amenities and buildings, small buildings around it.
We're just, and if we could, I'll just interrupt when I can, but there's a lot of trees where that field is proposed, and just to bring it to, I think everyone knows, but we will be reforesting a section of Deep Meadow Park to replace those trees that are taken down.
Is it beneficial for us to walk through the layout in the different buildings?
Yes, please.
Sure. First of all, the Board of Miracle Field you have in this township is incredible. They did all the hard work before we got involved. They already had visited multiple miracle fields and talked with other people about what was needed and what would be successful. So again, integrating with the parking plan, on the backside here, there's kind of a valet service, or valet entry point here. That was feedback they had received from others with people or kids with disabilities to more easily access the field and amenities around here rather than your standard ADA parking area, mostly due to different types of disabilities and equipment that comes with just playing baseball and being able to unload right here. Most of the new work is around here. This shows dimensions to what a miracle field standard is. So there's standard dimensions for home plate, first base, those types of things. And this is an increased sized, to Anna, what kind of level field we're looking at here?
It's the major minor leagues.
So the major minor leagues. So we're looking at a really larger area that can be adaptive use and multi-purpose. So for a standard miracle field, they might bring in like one of those temporary fences, and bring the infield or the outfield in. So around that, we have 3 new bathrooms, kind of a multi-use area here and some storage on the back, as well as announcer's booth with speaker, and then dugout and stands on each side. Again, this is pretty well positioned on the site. We did some site research on baseball and cardinal direction layout, but Gilmore and Associates really had it right with how it integrates to the land and the contours, because on the back here it'll kind of slope up, allowing even more people to kind of enjoy and gather around that field. Could you scroll down to, it might be the last page, page 4 there. If you're anything like me, visuals help. But if you want to zoom into any one of these, that would be fine. I think this is a great one here, actually, the overhead view. So again, depending on what level of donations come in and things like that, there may be phases to this project here. From our standpoint, we want to design holistically with the future in mind here. So again, just if you've ever been on this path here is currently existing, and this shows being integrated into the site currently here. There's an existing playground here that's now shown with the future fence and picnic area, again, offsetting and helping the accessory buildings to this site here. So the main entrance would be about here. This is covered from weather protection into the bathrooms and multi-use area. On each side, again, a dugout. Again, there's guidelines given by both Miracle Field National and your local board here that have really helped develop this project here. And then just a few more renderings here showing the fencing layouts, entrance, integration of the building, sight lines, seating, different things like that.
So you just mentioned that it would most likely be a phased-in operation with building this, right? What would you think would be, where you stand now, like what is your goal as far as what can you build, say, in the first phase with what you have now or what you think you're going to have versus what the total cost will be when when you have everything you need?
So phase 1, we're hoping to get the field built and the outside buildings. Phase 2, we're thinking about doing the playground area. and phase 3 reaches into the snack stand. So that's what we're thinking about now. We need to cost the drawings that you see now to confirm that we can do all of phase 1. If we can't, things like, I'll give you an example. We probably can run electricity to the field, but we may not be able to put the lights up until we have someone that can donate that, and then we can put the lights up, as an example. But we need to get the full costing of what we have as ideas that are laid out here before we can give you that final answer.
But for now, with what the money you have now, like what would you think could be accomplished if you didn't raise any more money, which I'm sure you will? Where do you think you would start and
Our primary focus is going to be the field, and those buildings with the dugout and the stands.
you haven't costed that out totally yet?
We need to finish costing that out.
One of the things,
You can just.
one of the things too associated with the cost is that the standard Miracle Field throughout the country, from home plate to center field is 125 feet. Our field will be 200 feet, which for those of you who may be familiar, that's the size of the field that has lights over there. It's current field 4 is what we're projected to build. So that extra turf cost, we've got to get to the bottom of that. We just don't quite know that yet.
And rough timeline if everything goes well? I know you're saying tomorrow. That'd be nice, right?
I think it's reasonable to believe we've set the goal for the fall of next year.
That the kids will be on the field or construction starts?
I'm hoping that we have a field built by September of next year.
Else have any questions?
No, I said when this project started, I think it's a wonderful, wonderful project and just speaks of Horsham and who we are as a community. But years ago, we started talking about our park system. And, we started with Kohler Park, which was our oldest park. And we built a dog park, and we built new restrooms and a new playground, dredged the pond, put the stone wall around the pond, and we addressed Kohler Park. Our second oldest park is Deep Meadow in the township. And when Bill and Nancy came at us with this idea, I said this could be the kickoff of Deep Meadow Park's renovations to bring Deep Meadow Park into the 22nd century. And it's happening. It's happening. I think they have a good plan here. And you don't have to worry about the clubhouse. We're going to be doing that. Maybe at the same time you do the field. We're in very preliminary discussions of how we're doing that financially and involving the Little League board and stuff. So, but your field started all of this. And, the paving of the parking lot is part of, so in maybe 2 or 3 years, the Miracle Field will be here in Horsham, new clubhouse, paved parking lot with parking lot lights in the parking lot. And, it has started, which is, pretty cool to see happen with relatively little cost to the taxpayers and to the residents to make these projects happen. So, just a question that I have, your, I guess you call it the drop-off driveway. Is that in your phase 1, or is that going to be, that's part of your field? When you build the field, that has to come. So your idea is to push the gate back further, that's there now, to allow for that access driveway. Okay. And just wanted to point that out to make sure council recognizes that and sees that. And also your picnic area, that'll be new next to the playground. And that'll be a hard surface, a paved surface for the kids to access.
Yes.
And Bill, I'd also point out too that there's an area there that we have 3, I think we call them unisex bathrooms.
Yeah, let me pull down that slide, Bill, and because you can explain that pretty good. Or at least you did it for me, so. There you go.
So that picture on the left there, that shows 3 restrooms. And then at the top part of the drawing there, that is a light concession area. It won't have kitchen equipment in it. It might be something that, for example, if we had a tournament there, it would be a place for bottled water, or I just kind of made that up off the fly. But it would be an area that we could do handout, T-shirt type of stuff. And then immediately behind that is the storage area. One thing that we did consider when we were walking through the plans with Hearth is the location of the bathroom. And if you pan out and you see the big picture, the bathrooms are viewable from all areas behind home plate, so that kids that are running off to the bathroom aren't running across the complex. I know this from my years of having kids over there. They run all the way across the complex and you lose sight of them. So here, that's why they're strategically placed like that, so that any parent that's there has uninterrupted view of the bathrooms.
I just think that this field to me really demonstrates, while it's baseball field, it is a field that tackles the unique needs. Similar to everybody's playground. It's a playground, but it's addressed to the specific needs of individuals while everybody can still play. So whether it's how an individual typically opens and closes the gate on a dugout, and the unique needs that somebody perhaps in a wheelchair who is using crutches can't utilize the dugout gate in the same way, doing things that address those needs. What if we have several kids in wheelchairs? Now we're splitting up the things like the benches to accommodate more people to make it their team. Whether it's baseball, softball, or the other sports leagues we have in Horsham, I think it's a baseball field, but it's a home for our league, and bringing them really into the fold of the Little League complex. And I think these plans really demonstrate that commitment to those people in the community. And I was blown away when I saw this the first time, the thought that went into the presentation that you guys have done. So I appreciate and thank you for all your work you've done so far.
Anybody else have any comments?
I had a quick question. I think it's a great idea. It's fantastic. Is it open to the public when it's not being used by that? Can the public access it, or have you talked about that?
I don't necessarily think we have that quite determined yet.
Okay.
We talk as a board frequently about the need to grow the programs. So once our build is underway, we have a bunch of local organizations that help kids with special needs and veterans with special needs that we're going to reach out to and say, hey, we have this field. But to answer your question about how will the field be available to the public when Miracle Field type programs are not in operation, I don't quite sure we know the answer to that. The goal is that Miracle Field is always being used. The goal is that we have this thing being used so often that we wear the turf out at some point. So, but I don't know that we quite have an answer for you on that yet.
I think that's one thing that the field lends versatility to. If you look at the layout, I think that was a U11 soccer field. So if there is perhaps things that the Challenger League isn't using it for, if we have a disabled veterans league or what have you in the fall doing rugby or something, we have to talk about the longevity of the playing surface, but making sure that we develop something that doesn't need to be altered downrange. Now it's something we are kind of thinking about now, and we have the funds, we're setting it up now. And if we can support it financially, opening it up to make sure the field is using as much as possible. The bathrooms, that's another question. How are they open? The one with the shower probably isn't going to be open for anybody except for things like the Challenger League. But as far as the other two bathrooms, perhaps I think that's something that we have to all talk about. But we are trying to make sure it's usable by as many people as possible, keeping in mind the playing surface and who it's really there for, and kind of going from there.
And just one thing to add there too, Sean, back to the thoughtfulness that's gone into this, where we reached out to a Miracle Field in Arizona and we asked the question, what is it that you didn't do that you wish you did do? And that was one of the answers, was we didn't build a bathroom with a shower. It's needed for that community, so that's why it's part of our build. There are several other features like that and little nuances that we have as part of our build by just simply asking the right questions.
Anybody else?
And correct me if I'm wrong, Bill and Nancy and Sean. So tonight kicks off their tour of meetings. So what they're looking for is feedback, comments, questions from council this evening. And if you have something after this evening, you can reach out to me or Bill or Nancy or Sean, and we can get it to them. But after today, they're going to see they're making a presentation to the Horsham Little League Board, and then to the Township Park and Recreation Board. And what they're trying to do is get feedback, comments and stuff to start to tweak and fine tune this plan with comments that they receive, so they can do that over their winter months and hopefully go out to bid or bid the project early next year for construction starting in the springtime. So even if someone thinks of something after this evening that you have a comment or a question on, you can ask Sean or I, or tell Sean and I, and we can relay it back to them, because that's what they're going to be doing the next few months, is these meetings with the Little League Board and Park and Rec Board.
Thanks for bringing that up, Bill. We're also going to be meeting with the Challenger League participants to make sure that this is what they see. So that'll be part of it as well, like a community focused on the Challenger League, but open to the community for remarks on the fields as well.
Good. Well, I think you guys are doing a great job. From the beginning to now has been remarkable. You guys are doing a good job with it as well, obviously. I mean, it does look good. I think it's got a lot of potential. It's got a lot of support behind it. And I think that this will happen, and hopefully sooner than later. And of course, we're all here to support it and do whatever we can to push it forward as quick as possible. So congratulations again, and wish you lots of luck.
Thank you.
All righty. Next, we're going to do the list of checks, and just make an announcement. I before the meeting, I was signing checks for the Hurricane Ida relief funding, so that's going to be part of this motion for checks, Bill?
Yes, it's this round of checks being written are for 39 property owners. 2 are commercial businesses, and this amount is $107,800.46. So as of after tonight, after you approve these checks, we have checks went out to 113 property owners, totaling $328,272.92.
Very good. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve the list of checks and all funds in the amount of $438,343.58, and further move to authorize payment of the same.
Moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We have a subdivision land development plan for Lower State Road driving range.
This is just for your consideration tonight. So they have received preliminary final recommended approval from the Township Planning Commission. They were in front of you for review. We do have their agreement to accept conditions this evening, so it's ready for your consideration.
Okay, Mary, do you have anything further to add?
I do not.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I move to adopt the resolution as proposed, granting preliminary final approval to the Lower State Road driving range, 500 Lower State Road, Land Development Plan 2303D.
Second.
Moved and second, it's a roll call vote.
Mr. Chaudhry, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Harmon, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Wade, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Whiteside, how do you vote? And Mr. McCouch, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
We have one zoning hearing board application, Marrow Properties on Lower State Road.
So it's, they want to do a pole barn behind their house. It's not, I wouldn't say it's never been done in Horsham, but it's not a customarily incidental to the single-family use in our R2 zoning district. So that's the variance that they need. The staff recommendation would be to go neutral with the condition that the building shall be used for residential use only, storage use only, and shall not be used for any non-residential use to include habitable space such as an in-law suite or an apartment.
For a business?
Or a business, yeah.
Okay. Neutral, everybody? Okay. Next is to adopt the county's 2022 hazard mitigation plan.
Yes, so it's always a year behind when the municipalities across the county adopt the plan. The County Planning Commission finishes the plan in 2022, and then the county commissioners adopt it at the end of 2022, and then the 62 municipalities adopt the plan in 2023. So it's done every 5 years. So the last plan was 2017, and this plan primarily identifies natural hazards and risk areas in our township. It's a requirement for us to get any PEMA or FEMA money. So we all know with some of the weather changing going on and the tornado that we got and the Hurricane Ida, that we need all these plans in place so we can apply for FEMA and PEMA aid as needed. So the county has finished their plan. The county commissioners have adopted it. So it's in front of you for your consideration this evening.
There's no comments. Do we have a motion?
I move to adopt the Montgomery County 2022 Hazard Mitigation Plan as the official hazard mitigation plan of Horsham Township.
Second.
Then moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Being said there's no further items on the agenda, this meeting is now adjourned. Have a good evening.